The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network. Hello, America. Welcome back to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Bambino Italian Cafe Studios. I am one of the hosts. You can just call me the good looking one. I'm Johnny Mack, the one up there, the guy who's, I think there's hair on the side of his head. If you can see this broadcast, that's Guy Newcomb. They call him Scoreboard Guy. And DA knows better to go capless. It would make no sense. He would have cold ears. So that is the coach right there, Coach Darren Archer. Hey, welcome back, like I said, to a new episode of Huddle Up. Hey, we appreciate you being here live across America. Fellas, what's going on? Guys, start with you. Give me something good to talk about, brother.
Well, it ain't gonna be the Cardinals. I don't know what's good right now. I took my dad, spent the day with my dad today, and that was a good time, and got to eat a really good lunch. But going to have to get out and probably put 4 or 5 miles in on the treadmill. But I enjoyed today.
Good deal, good deal, Coach.
Yes, sir.
You got something good. I know you got something good. They little and they cry a lot. Talk to you.
Yes, I've had 2 new granddaughters in the last month, and I got to meet both of them. And the great thing about being a granddad is you can spoil the dog out of them and then ship them right back home. But hey, enough about me. School has started. That means fall sports are right around the corner, and can't wait for the fall season to get kicked off.
Football's coming up really quick along with the other sports. We got a lot of that to talk about today. And so really we're going to kick this thing off. It's a topic that just doesn't make me feel good. The Cardinals are in a free fall. And when I say a free fall, there's not like there's a parachute coming. I mean, this is going to be bad. Right now, as we sit here, before we go on there, they lost 8 of their last 10 games, Guy. The 6 games out of the final wild card spot with approximately 4 or 5 other teams in between. Right now, it's a bad thing going on over on the east side of the state. Nolan Gorman just got sent down. Guy, if you had to do an overall assessment of the hitters, Gorman, and what do you think really turned around, some injuries and things like that, what would you say about the Cardinals? And there just seems like a lack of urgency. What do you think, buddy?
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, St. Louis is the only team unless I've got blood on the floor, the Cardinals are the only team I live and die with. And it has been absolutely miserable for me to tune in and to watch them. They get swept by the Reds, and then the Royals sweep the Reds, a few days later. And their hitting is absolutely atrocious. And you talk about, Gorman, he struck out 151 times and 365 at bats. That leads the league, and he's not even playing every day. And he's still swinging through pitches. Goldschmidt's swinging through pitches. And on August 4th, when Ciani went on the DL, he was a pretty legit center fielder. And now they bring in this Victor Scott, and he's hitting like buck, or he's not even hitting a buck. And he's like at 70. And their next 17 games are against playoff teams. They could finish with a worse record than they did last year and be in the cellar. And if that doesn't cause ownership to make some changes, I don't know what will.
Well, DA, I don't even like kicking it over to you on this one because you kind of like it that we're not doing, being the Cubs fan that you are, but you don't have a whole heck of a lot to say because there's not a lot happening on North Side Chicago. But DA, if you could contrast the Cardinals or compare the Cardinals and the Cubs, what is wrong with them this year?
Gosh, what is right with them?
That's
might be easier to answer, and that's not a whole lot. Yeah. Welcome to my world, guys. This is the world the Cubs live in, and it's frustrating. It really is. And I think it starts, I've said this for a long time. I think it starts with Mozeliak and his overall management of the team. And Jordan Walker, why are you sending Jordan Walker back down this time of year and not getting him some playing time and reps, you know, at the plate and in the field? You know, your complaint against him is defense. Why not throw his butt out there and let him get some experience and trial by fire? You know, he's a young one that eventually you hope is going to be one of the cornerstones of your team. And they're shipping him up and down, up and down. His head's probably spinning from going back between Memphis and St. Louis every other week. So I think a lot of people, and I speak about Mozeliak, the only move that, from what I've seen from afar, that fans approve of is them finally sending Gorman back down, you know, to get some reps and hopefully get corrected down at the AAA level. So who knows? You know, it is frustrating at the beginning of this season with the way Milwaukee kind of unloaded a little bit over the winter. You kind of thought they may be bringing up the rear, and shoot, there's a little over a month left of the season, and they're actually up 10 games, 10 and a half games as of today, and kind of are running away from it with the Central.
Yep, and that's something that as the season progressed, you kind of saw them kind of come together. I read an article about the Contreras brothers and how he just felt like it's them against the world. But you know, enough about the Cardinals, because I like my computer and I don't want to throw it up against the wall. On the other side of the state, I mean, it hurts my soul. I'm born and raised in St. Louis. I'll be honest with you. We had a new hire at our office, and they got to show everybody around. And I won't put this individual's name out to the public, but he sees that I have, you know, a Matt Carpenter bobblehead, and I got Cardinal stuff in my office. And he goes, "Oh, you're a Cardinals fan?" I'm thinking he is. He goes, "I go, you are?" Yeah. He goes, "No, I'm a Royals fan, and we have Bobby Witt Jr. and we got Patrick Mahomes. Life is good for us." And I'm like, if you don't get out of here right now, I don't think I like this guy right now. But on the other side of the state, the Royals are 70-56. The last 10 games they played above 500, to 6-4 guy. They're not that far out of first place, and they're definitely in the wild card hunt. From what I might heard, guy, there's some rumblings about them being one of the better teams in baseball.
Well, you start with the pitching staff, and they've got three guys with 10+ wins, and then Singer's right there with 9. And I tell you, the biggest maybe pickup at the deadline may have been Lucas Ursig, you know, coming in at the end of that bullpen, and he has not allowed a run, you know, since he's been with the Royals. He's not even allowed an inherited run to score, and he hasn't walked anybody since he came over. I mean, he's just lights out. He's 98, 99 on the corners. That's a huge pickup for them. And then Bobby Witt Jr. is he's hitting 400 since the All-Star break. You know, he's batting 351 on the season. He scored 110 runs. I got Salvi Perez is back in 2014 shape with regards to hitting. He's playing great defense. And with the ability there with the DH and being allowing him to play first base and not having to take Vinny Pasquantino out of the lineup, and Pasquantino is like third in the league in RBIs. And they got 3 guys in the top 10 in RBIs this season. And, you know, their run differential is like a plus 107. They're one of 5 teams, you know, over 100 plus in the run differential. Things are just going really well right now for the Royals. And with Seth Lugo coming back, he kind of, you know, stumbled a little bit, and then he came back and got a big win there in that opening game in that series with the Angels. If he gets back to his, you know, 2 weeks ago they're talking about him winning the Cy Young, and then they lost 4 of his 5 starts after that. But I think they've got a real opportunity here, not only maybe even to win the division, but they're getting ready to go on a stretch now where the next 20 games are against teams in the playoffs. And they don't have the tiebreaker. If they tie with Minnesota or Boston for that third wild card spot, they don't hold the tiebreaker to either one of those teams. And this is going to be a stretch run where it's really going to tell the tale, I think.
Well, DA, let me ask you one quick question. You think Bobby Witt Jr. can win the MVP this year?
Bobby Witt Jr. is him. I'm telling you, he's the real deal. I think a lot of that will depend on how they finish off the season, but he has certainly put up the numbers, and he's kind of taken the league by storm. Locals like us, people in the state, have had an opportunity to know how good he is before this year. But I think the rest of the league and the rest of America are beginning to see just how great a baseball player he is. Makes a big difference.
Absolutely. I think he definitely has a chance. So, hey, gentlemen, that's a good segment. Way to wrap it up and with, on a good note with the Royals instead of with the Cardinals. Hey, we'll be right back. You listen to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Bambino's Italian Cafe Studios. We'll be right back. We're going to talk some NFL. Definitely going to get into the Chiefs. And so don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days.
Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck.
And a high-tech Chevy SUV.
Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Listen to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Bambino, the Italian Cafe Studios. Once again, this is Johnny Mack. That's Guy Newcomb. Coach Archer is at the top of the screen. Hey, look, guys, let's just jump right into it. Hey, the hot topic here is the Chiefs. They're just the hottest thing going right now. Patrick Mahomes did a behind-the-back pass, which he said he wasn't trying to do, but it looks like it looked like that was a scripted play. The Chiefs are ready to go. They open up September 5th. The first game of the year, Thursday Night Football, is going to be a great game to watch. There's some new roles for some new people, some couple specialty roles that we're going to get into. But I want to open up with you, Coach. What's the Chiefs' ceiling? They play 17 games, Coach. What are you putting them at? I'm putting you on the record right now.
I think they get to 11.
Okay.
They've got maybe 12. Looking at their schedule, their non-divisional games are pretty tough. When you think about the Bengals, Ravens, and there really aren't too many gimmies there outside of the divisions. So I think they'll win at least 11, maybe 12. Depending on how things go. And you know how it is, Johnny. A lot of it depends on, players staying healthy, especially in the very important positions all over the field. But Mahomes got to stay healthy. Receiving core has to stay healthy, just because you don't really know what kind of numbers there are. But I expect them to have a good season and very good season. And hey, they're still champs till somebody knocks them off.
That is so true. And I hate to say that. Guy, let's put you on the record. 17 games. They're looking to go to 18 maybe here really soon, maybe next season. Looking at the Chiefs' schedule, man, it's nothing to play with. I think everybody in the division got better. Everyone says that at the beginning of the year. But I don't see really any gimme games and looking at their schedule. And even when you look at the Browns, the Panthers might be their one game. But I really don't see a lot. Guy, what do you see, buddy?
Well, I think the floor is probably 10 wins, and that's with a healthy Patrick Mahomes. If he's healthy all year, I think the least amount of games they're going to win is 10. If he's healthy all year, I'm with Arch a little bit there. 12, 13, probably if he's healthy all year. But they could be going into Atlanta 0-2. I mean, they open up with the Ravens and the Bengals. And they're both at home. But you look at Burrow, he's the last guy to beat Patrick Mahomes at home in a playoff game. So he's comfortable there. But they could be, like I said, going into Atlanta. And you got to stretch there from December 15th to the 25th. That 10 days, they played 3 games. That's never happened before in the NFL. And that stretch right there, and they finish at Pittsburgh on Christmas Day, the 25th. So I mean, I still think if Patrick Mahomes stays healthy, which is going to be key on his tackles staying healthy, I think the minimum they're going to win is 10. But if he's healthy all year, I'm going to say 13.
Well, I that's a lot. I mean, I don't know how much the Chiefs improved on defense. I mean, I don't know if they got that corner to fill out for Snead, who's a big part of their defense. We're going to see, and I think the league caught up with them some last year. But I mean, Patrick made some plays, and there was some fumbles, and it's just the way the Chiefs are, man. They got some magic going. I'm just not really sure. Hey, I got a question for y'all. If you had to pick one, who would be your number one fantasy football pick?
Player.
Well,
it's the running back at
Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, he's the best player in the league.
Yeah. And number 2 would be who?
Ooh, maybe Jefferson, wide receiver at Minnesota.
Yeah. And so, I'm running to that with last year. I was one of the dummies that took Travis Kelce at like number 8. Didn't work out really good for me. Didn't work out really good, but I heard Kelce this year is doing a couple other things. God, tell me about a couple of new roles he had.
Well, it came out Tuesday. Came out Tuesday that Dave Tobe, the special teams coach, announced that Kelce would be the emergency long snapper.
Wow.
Kelce, a former college quarterback, when he went to Cincinnati, he went there as a quarterback. So he's got the hands and things like that. And then on, Tuesday night, Adam Sandler revealed that Kelce was going to have a cameo appearance in Happy Gilmore 2. And I was listening to some things on Wednesday, on the air coming out of 610 Kansas City. And I guess Kelce had reached out to Sandler and just said, hey, can I get in this movie? I love this movie when I was growing up, the first one. And he said, yeah, we'll be there. And Sandler said Travis mentioned it. And so we're going to have something for Travis, and he's going to come by. So he may have 5 words, but that's it.
So, DA, Coach, give me a percentage that you think Taylor Swift would be at the home opener on the 5th of September.
If she's not touring, I'd say 110%.
110%.
Yeah, I'm not sure what her tour schedule's like. I know she's over in Europe right now, but I'm sure the powers that be have probably set up her travel arrangements to make sure she's there for some of the season anyway. But like I said, if it's not if she's not on tour, she'll be there.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, this is the best time of the year, right? You got some of the baseball, the pennant races will be heating up here. People are still scratching and clawing. College football is on its way. I can just smell it. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the heavyweight games that are coming up. But staying here in the state of Missouri, it's high school football time along with all the other fall sports. And we're super excited here at Missouri Sports Network to be right in the middle of covering these high school athletes and giving them the spotlight that they deserve. On some jamborees for Friday night coming up. So we're going to take a quick break here on Huddle Up on Missouri Sports Network inside the Bambino's Fine Italian Cafe Studios. And we're going to come right back, and we're going to jump right into the high school scene and let you know what's going on in Europe.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need. to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Bambino's Fine Italian Cafe studio. Johnny Mack here, Guy Newcomb, and Coach Darren Archer. We call him DA. Hey, here on the Missouri Sports Network, we are very much we're about Missouri. We'll talk some national professional sports, but mainly we want to make sure we're highlighting the collegiate athletes along with the high school athletes here on this network. That's what we do. And right now it's fall, and that means football, volleyball, cross country, women's golf, women's tennis, lacrosse, men's soccer, and softball. If I miss one, guys, fill me in. And we are dedicated to making sure that we put out information regarding all of the fall sports and all of both men and women's sports. If we have missed something by chance, if we didn't get it up, please send us an email, contact us on Twitter, reach out to us on our social media platforms, and inform us of what we missed, and we'll get it out there, okay? I want to make sure we let everyone know what we're about here on the Missouri Sports Network. Let's jump off into some football right away, big guy, Coach. Jamboree's coming up Friday. Guys, are there any teams in particular, any jamborees you're looking forward to looking at, watching?
Well, they're hosting one at Parkview. That's where Bolivar's going. It's down to Parkview. Mount Vernon hosts one as well with, Cassville, McDonald County come into their place. Joplin hosts Webb City, Lamar, and Carthage, I believe. So there's a lot of great opportunities to get out and see some things. But a lot of coaches, Republic, for example, they don't even go to a jamboree just because of, the coach Cornelson lost a kid for a year in a jamboree, got injured, tore his ACL. So some coaches are very particular where they may just give guys maybe one or two series, and maybe they're looking at, especially if you've got a younger team coming up, or maybe you graduated a bunch of seniors, you're trying to get some of those guys and see if they're going to be able to play under the Friday night lights. So number one is obviously just staying healthy, especially with regards to football. But, they have jamborees in all the sports. This time of year, you start looking at, as Republic, they made it to the state championship game last year. What do they have coming back? What does Webb City have coming back? And with all the new conference alignments, just even here in Southwest Missouri, with the Ozark Conference being, kind of disbanded, so those teams all had to find somewhere to go, and a lot of them went into the COC. So now the COC went from 10 teams to now it's got 14 teams in it in football and 18 teams in it overall. So you're going to look at, those type of situations on who's got who coming back, and especially when you're, Kickapoo hasn't played a Webb City, and so they're going to be maybe sending somebody there to watch Kickapoo because now they're on their schedule. So just things like that. It's going to be interesting here as we head into the fall. Yeah.
I agree with you. The conference realignments is something that, it doesn't take a lot to just jump out there and start and just, to realign like they did last year. So it's going to be very interesting seeing some of these teams play one another. Coach, what are your thoughts on upcoming football season? And is there any teams or anybody in particular that you think we should keep our eye on?
Yeah, I think things will kind of shake out here in a week, in a little over a week, when class and district assignments are made. That will allow everybody to see, number one, what teams fall in what class due to the success factor and change in enrollment numbers or different things like that. And then when the district assignments are made, it will start to show paths that are available to different teams throughout the state to get to that championship game up in Columbia, and how things will kind of shake out. So I'm going to reserve to wait till the numbers come out and district and class assignments come out. But I think once they do, we can start looking at how things will fall in place in each class and start taking a look at how things shake out early in the season, what teams will kind of rise to the top. The most interesting team in the state to me is probably Cardinal Ritter, and where will they fall? they from top to bottom, they may be the most talented team in the state. And that's no disrespect to anybody in Class 6, 5, or wherever you may land on the spectrum. But, they've won in Class 4 state championship. They've won in Class 5 a state championship. The next step for them is Class 6, and it'll be interesting to see where they fall.
Be very interesting. And then after the first couple of games, we'll be able to highlight some of the athletes that have some breakout seasons. Coach, there's also the volleyball component. There's women's volleyball. A lot of things going on there. I'd like to make sure we talked about that. Coach, what are your thoughts on some of the local teams that we should be keeping an eye on?
Well, obviously in the bigger classes in Southwest Missouri, Kickapoo, Ozark, Nixa are kind of at the top. There's some upstart programs. You also have programs such as Logan Rogersville. And Guy, you can help me out here with some of the lower classes, but Clever's had a very good program in the past. I'm not real up to date with where they're at this year and who's lost what, but throughout the state, there's going to be a lot of good teams from out of the Kansas City and St. Louis area that will probably have a say in at least the Final Four. You think of Lafayette High School out of Wildwood. I mean, they're probably the team to beat again, and just have that system going on. Herman, who I believe is in Class 3, maybe. I'm not sure how things have adjusted, but Herman traditionally has a great program. So it'll be interesting to see who the upstart programs are, and kind of watch things shake out as well. And they're in the same boat. Their district assignments and class assignments will come out in about a week and a half, and that's when we can kind of sit down and start analyzing who's going what direction and who's going to meet up in sectionals, quarterfinals, Final Four matchup potentially. And that's the neat thing about this time of year is you can kind of once those announcements are made by the state, you can start taking a look at the bracket and who's going what direction.
I agree with you. And like I said to our listeners out there, we will be talking about all the high school fall sports every week. If we miss one, or you say, hey, had you heard about this team? We might have not necessarily heard about it right away, but please let us know. Contact us on our social media platforms. And gentlemen, thank you for those updates on those sports. I do want to say a couple things before we get out of here. Congratulations to Team USA for winning the gold medal over in the Olympics. The Olympics were great 2-week run. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. And Guy, I want to defer to you on this last one. Art Haynes said he's gonna hang up the cleats, gonna put everything away. Guy, what are your feelings on one of your dear friends and more like a mentor to you also? What are your thoughts on him calling it a career?
Yeah, it's he's 40 years into this at Missouri State University. With his health problems he's had over the past 3 years, it's just remarkable that he's still able to do what he's doing. And just a brief story about him. I first met Art Haynes in 1997. I was a baseball coach, and I was at a Legion game, and I just took my chair up there and just sat up kind of away from the crowd. And this guy came up and sat down next to me and introduced himself, started talking. I thought, my God, I listen to you every day, on the radio. And since that point, we've been close friends, and I pick him up every Monday and take him to the quarterback club, tip-off club, and leadoff club, which again is at Bambino's this year. And the quarterback club starts on September 9th. But yeah, he is calling it quits after Missouri State plays SMU in 2025, and he's going to call that game. It's going to be his last game. And the reason for that is he is an SMU grad, and they're playing at Missouri State, which was a tremendous get by Kyle Motes on his way out, was to be able to get that game locked in. But Art, like I said, he's a dear friend. I talk to him 2 or 3 times a week, and actually he's speaking at an event on Sunday, September 8th, that I'm going to be in attendance. So I'm going to visit with him a little bit there, and but he's a legend. I mean, he's the greatest of all time. I mean, I don't know who invented the radio, but Art Haynes showed us what to do with it.
Yep. He is a legend, and DA, you and I both had the pleasure of listening to him and at times watching him on TV. Always very respectful, very honorable guy. He'll be missed in that booth. Heck, who knows who'll take over? You might be hearing Guy, the scoreboard guy, take over, the voice of the Bears. Who knows? We would love that. Hey, we're not going to retire, but we're going to run up out of here. We'll be back next week. So, look, it's been a good week, fellas. Anything y'all want to end with?
Yeah, I'd like to just remind everybody the school buses are out. School has started again. Hey, be vigilant on the road. There's a lot of little kids, younger kids, kids of all ages on the road every morning. Hey, pay attention to what you're doing. It just takes 1 second to really ruin somebody's life and a family. So just be careful out there. Pay attention to the bus stops.
That's a great way to end it. DA, my friend, I'll root for you if you root for me. I'll root for the Cubs if you root for the Cardinals, DA. How'd that sound?
Deal. We can both live in misery.
Neither one of those are happening.
That's right.
Fellas, it's been a good show. I want to thank our audience for listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Bambinos Fine Italian Cafe. Hey, we'll be back next week giving you all the latest on the local and statewide sports and the athletes that are making these things happen. Don't go anywhere. And thank you again.
This has been a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in.